Hello again, fourth graders, and welcome to our writer's workshop for today. Today is session 4 as we learn about teaching as a way to rehearse for information writing. When you are writing to teach about your topic, as you are whenever you do any information writing, it helps to actually do some teaching. Knowing that you have an audience to help you figure out what you need to teach is very important. The questions that people ask in real life are probably questions that readers will also ask, so it helps to try to answer those questions in your writing. A student has been invited to go to a classroom to teach the kids about Paul Revere's Ride. Well, let's help the student get ready for their teaching. If we can help the student, I think we can also figure out some things that will help everyone listening and watching and participating in this particular lesson to teach better, both teaching in person and on the page. Some tips about what people do to get ready to teach. Well, one thing is they need to have a plan, usually a list of the main topics they'll teach with notes about the important points. Another thing that people do to get ready to teach is to read over the plan and think about the audience. Your audience will be other fourth graders, so think about how other fourth graders will take your information and understand it. Asking questions to help understand the audience and make changes. Some questions that teachers ask when planning to teach are: 1. What do I want my audience to learn? 2. What will interest people? And 3. What might confuse them? In other words, what can I clarify or make clear? By asking these questions, that will help us to make our teaching as interesting and informative as possible. Now, writers do this as well, especially writers of information texts, because the goal is to write in such a way that the writing acts like good teaching. Well, these are the students' plans to teach Paul Revere. I'm going to teach about Paul Revere, and so I thought I'd tell about the things that happened before the night, and then the lights from the church signaling to him, and then how he rode around to Lexington and all. Paul Revere's Midnight Ride. Here are his subtopics: before the ride, the signal, and riding to warn the patriots. But the student needs to think, what do I want my audience to learn? So to answer that, they have to think about all the main points of their topic and make sure their teaching addressed those main points. Do you think the student addresses the main points about Paul Revere and his Midnight Ride? The student needs to think, what will interest people? What can the student do to be sure their teaching interests people as much as possible? The student needs to think, what might confuse the audience, and how can I clarify and clear up the confusion? What do you think might confuse the kids, and how can the student clear up that confusion? Some good questions and things to think about. The student might say, I hadn't told much about what occurred after the ride. Well, when you teach about a topic, new ideas always come up. In this case, the student needed to add that subtopic into their plans. Sometimes you need to add more details, add some quotes, or perhaps some fun facts. Plan for teaching others about your topic, and then do that teaching to rehearse for writing. Some bullet points to think about. What do I want my audience to learn? What will interest people? And what might confuse them that I can clarify? Right now, without a word, make a plan for how you will teach someone today. Like our student here in the example, jot down the topics you'll teach in order. Consider whether you've taught the important parts, interested your audience, and answered the questions that the audience might be asking. Teaching about a topic can help you rehearse for informational writing now and always. As you teach, or right after, Jot some quick notes about how you'll change or add to your information writing. In the old days, before the modern pipes we have now, people had to get water from a well. Before they could pump water out of the well, they had to do what's called priming the pump. They had to give the handle a few pumps before the water would come out. The teaching you just did was sort of like priming the pump for your writing. Your teaching hopefully gave you lots of new ideas of what you could add to clear up confusion and to make things interesting. Once you have primed the pump of your writing, pick up your pencil and start writing. Be sure to think about ways to convey the important things about your topic, to interest your reader, and to answer questions they will be asking. So fourth graders, as we send you off to write today, you are going to be priming your pump, as they say. You're going to be thinking about your audience, the other fourth graders and the teachers that will be listening and enjoying your presentation. As you are writing today, you are going to be making your subtopic as your heading and list 3 or 4 different subheadings under that. What are the things that you're trying to write about? Go over and review this lesson if you need to, or pause it as you need to, because there's some important ideas along the way that we talked about and shared today. Be ready and prepared to teach others, especially other fourth graders, about your topic. Maybe you need to work a little bit further on what you did yesterday, and that's fine. Take a few more notes and develop those ideas. But be prepared to teach your ideas to others. That's what our lesson is today. So enjoy working hard and developing your ideas as you continue on with your writing lesson. Good luck, fourth graders.